Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So, we got something a little bit different today. Usually you have to order these from likes of AliExpress, but in the UK we've got Demon RC that's now the official sort of reseller in UK for these things, so it makes them a lot easier to get hold of. Nipped up to shop at Wakefield, so I'll put a link in the description. Really helpful guys, got quite a bit of stuff in there and quite a bit of knowledge of running these things, so let's have a look at it. We have the SNRC, and I believe this one is the R3 Pro, so bit of an alternative to some of the more expensive touring cars, but kind of the entry into the class of what I would say would be a seriously competitive touring car, or something that you'd want to run in sort of the 17.5, 13.5 class. But let's have a look what we get in box. So we do get quite a nice manual. This covers most of the models that they do. It also covers all the hop-up parts, and you've got a huge part list of all the modification parts you can buy for it. A lot of sprung steel, aluminium, carbon upgrades. And it has got the full exploded diagram of each of the models that they do. So you can see every one of the part numbers. There's a huge list of the different cars that they actually do, the different kits. But yeah, quite a nice manual. So we also get a set of stickers. Then we get an antenna straw and the adjustable pills for the suspension, so you can change the suspension geometry. You also get a plastic servo horn. You get a bunch of these gold anodized screws, so we'll have to have a look what they're for, and you get a few body clips in there. We also, unlike quite a lot of these these sort of kits, we do get all the screws and washers to mount the motor, and we do get a pinion. Trying to see if it tells us what size that is. So we get a 33 tooth pinion, and it is 64 pitch. You also get both front and rear sway bar kit and all the relative hardware to attach these, so that's quite nice. The thicker one is the 2-dot, and then you get a 2-dot with a long line, so I'll have to have a look at instructions as to what they signify, but the thinner is the 2-dot with the long line instead of dots, a bit like Morse code. And as I say, you get all the gold anodized screws and everything. These are all hex head, so unlike the Tamiya kits, you don't have to use a special screwdriver. And we do, curiously enough, get two of these little things. Now I'm not sure if these are blanks for the dampers that you can drill yourself. I'll have to have a look through instructions, see what they are. We get another little bag with a bunch of screws in it. Wondering if these are to mount your servo, because it does come with one servo horn already attached, and it says that's an F. Not really sure what that signifies, but looking at the actual servo mounts, it says you need 4 screws, and that's only got 3 in there, so I'm not sure if that's to mount a fan, but you do get a whole bunch of screws in here with it. You do get the bumper, so this is pre-made, just the 3 holes in the bottom, and it's already got your body post mounts on, so we do get quite a nice foam bumper. I think that'll just fit on there. And then we get the RC itself. Curious that they've sort of half mounted the body mounts, just to give you a hint of where they go. So running through it, I think we're probably better off getting you in for a nice close-up on this one, and I'll show you some of the parts it actually comes with. This in the UK retails for around $220, which on the face of it looks like an awful lot of carpet money. But let's bring you in for a close-up look and see what you make of it. So, first impressions of it. Looking round it, if I hold the servo saver, there is no slop whatsoever. So they literally, as soon as that servo saver moves, it's going to move the wheels, and they're not going to move independent of the servo, which is really important on this this type of touring car. Starting from the back, we've got aluminium fully adjustable dampers. So you have got the screw-in adjustable ring on the top, and it does look like even the spring retainer is aluminium. We've got aluminium hexes, and these are just standard size what you'd use on the 10 scale touring cars. You've got what looks like multiple mounting points for the anti-roll bar sway bar kit and ride height adjustment screws. We've got fully adjustable turnbuckles, and looking around it, we do have a differential fitted in the rear that comes with oil already pre-fitted, and the dampers feel like they've got oil in them. You can see the little pills to adjust as toe in, toe out. They're all really nice. The bulkhead is aluminium. We've got sprung steel bars that hold your suspension on, sprung steel drive shafts, and these are CVs on the outer side, and the inner side we have sprung steel out drives, and these are the drilled ones for lightweight. And you do have the bar fitted with the sort of shim that rotates, should I say. Again, no slop whatsoever. And throughout it, we have carbon upper deck, carbon lower deck, carbon servo retainer, carbon battery holder, and the stays on these are aluminium. Then you've got adjustable little plastic screws, so you can adjust it for your battery length. And we have little plastic inserts in these. Now I'm just wondering if that's what these are for. If you've got a lower battery, you can pop them in. Does look like it. So I think you can just pop these top ones out and put these thicker shims in if you require a bigger battery. It's fully belt driven. And looking around, what else can we see? We've got carbon shock towers, fully adjustable turnbuckles on the front. Again, on the front, we have the drive shafts that are the sort of style that you get with the more expensive cars, where they're actually linked at the pivot point, so it stops them popping out. Just trying to see if it shows us the length. So they are 38mm on the front. It says 38 3.0 and then S2. And on the rears, we're running 46 2.0 S2, and these don't use the sort of half moon bits that slide. These are direct drive from the end of the dog bones. Nice to see that they're covered in graphite grease as well, so it's pretty much really well built up. I believe that's the fan mount, so you've got the two sizes that you can run for the fan. Nice that it comes with the kit and actually fitted in. But yeah, overall, quite an impressive piece of kit. So moving on to the steering, we've got aluminium and proper bearings, which is really nice to see. It's incredibly smooth steering. The front is a spool, which you would expect on a touring car sort of class. It looks like the drive for the spool is also aluminium. Front bulkhead's aluminium. You have got little shims in the front, so you could move the arms forward or back. You've also, on the ends, we've got aluminium that holds the bottom in with bearings, and then you've got a shim at either side of this, which would allow you to move your hubs. No shims on the rear, but they are the style that fasten in with a grub screw that holds the retaining bar through. But everything feels really smooth. The front arms, you've just got a single mount for the roll bar, and again the aluminium suspension that does feel really, really nice. So that's just a quick look, give you some idea of what you get. I would say that this kit for £220 for all this, including the pinion, also comes with a spur that some of the higher end cars don't. You have to buy your own spur. Gearing wise, I believe it's the pinion will run 25 to around 46. I'll just double check this for you. So if you're running the 64 pitch gearing, which it does come with, you've got 24 to 46 tooth it will support. Motor can be mounted either side, so you can switch the battery trays and everything, the servo round, so however it suits. There is also available aluminium pulleys, so you can upgrade them. The front, rear and the centre one can be upgraded to aluminium. They do a whole range of different springs, and just looking at it, your front and rear pulleys are 38 tooth, and with the 64 pitch gearing, you can go from a, so it looks like there's 110, 116, then we've got WH110 and WH116. They also do a whole range of chassis for it, so you can have carbon, you can have aluminium, you can have different thicknesses of carbon. And also looking through it, it looks like you can change the upper decks to different thicknesses as well. And they also do glass fibre or carbon shock towers. So the list of stuff that they actually produce, I think everything's also available in aluminium as well. So depending on what track surface you want to run this on, really depends on what chassis you want to go for, or you can try it if you want a stiffer or a more flexible chassis, you can just swap those out. They do a huge range of wheels as well for it, and a range of different body shells. But just to give you a quick idea of the amount of parts that they do for this car. So I believe most of these are interchangeable between the different models. So you can buy one of the lower end ones and you can upgrade all the parts to the higher end vehicle. It's nice to see that all the parts come listed with the part numbers. It looks like some of the parts are actually available in different colours as well. And then we've got a whole bunch of wheels, whole bunch of tyres, body shells, different weights. It looks like all the hardware kit is available in different colours as well. But then you've got your exploded diagrams and everything. So overall, for the actual price, I think this is a really, really impressive piece of kit. Looks really well made. I'm not finding any screws that are rounded off. Nothing's broken or damaged. It comes packaged really well. Nice that most of it is assembled as well. So the bumper you just need to mount on, and then you've got all your body post mounts. And really nice that it comes with front and rear sway bar and the full set of adjustable pills as well. And as I say, they look like they're for the battery adjustments, so you can make sure your battery's fitted in nice and snug. And I quite like the fact that everything's reversible. So if for whatever reason you don't want the layout that it comes in and you want your motor the other way around, you can just swap them over. And it looks like it'd be quite a quick process to do as well. Really like the fact that the steering is completely central, meaning you'll get the same throw in both directions. And I believe they've done something that I'm not sure why quite a lot of the others don't do. They've actually got built-in steering stops. So it's very hard to show you, but on the bottom of these, on the back, there's little pins that act as proper steering stops. So if you do have a bit of a crash, you've got something to help protect your servo, because touring cars don't tend to run servo savers. But yeah, it's a little pin on the bottom of these bits, just on the back of them, and it just acts as a proper steering stop. So let's wrap this one up. So there you have it, the SNRC, and I believe this one is the R3 Pro. Really, really nicely made, fully ball raced. Pretty much most of the options that you'd want are already upgraded on this. So the likes of the aluminium suspension, the sprung steel drive shafts, all sprung steel turnbuckles, and the suspension bars, the arm retaining bars, all sprung steel, and pretty much everything else is carbon and aluminium. The only bits of plastic on this are the parts that actually make sense. I mean, the diffs and the drive gears, obviously plastic, the hubs, they're plastic, and the end at turnbuckles and your body mounts and the little bumper bits, plastic arms, but then everything else on it, all the rest of the components, are aluminium and carbon. Like the touch of the nice gold anodized screws as well. Gives it a sort of air of quality, and nice that it's got the ride out adjustment, and really nice that you get the whole sway bar kit with it and the adjustable pills. But hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight into what you actually get for what I would class as quite a bargain price for this sort of car. Especially if you look at the likes of the Iris one, that's around 600 and something pound retail in UK, and still comes with plastic diffs and doesn't come with a spur or pinion gear or a fan mount. So you can pretty much buy 3 of these for the price of one of the Iris ones. Now just bring the Iris one in just to give you some idea of difference in them. So pretty much the same sort of size car. Does also come with the sway bars and everything, but you do have to buy a spur gear, you do have to buy a pinion. Really nice looking kit. Unfortunately, I believe they've had to redesign the front drive shafts because they were exploding, which is not great, but believe they are sending them out free. And I have seen a few complaints that if you take a bit of a hit on these, it can bend the actual bulkhead, which shouldn't be an issue on the cheaper car because you've got the shock tower. Obviously with the laid down suspension on this, no shock tower. But yeah, just to give you an idea of you can buy 3 of these for the price of one of these. So be interesting to see how both these two drive and how it compares, because we are running 17.5 in this, and I will be setting this up the same way with a identical servo. So it'd be quite an interesting comparison. But thanks again for watching WTF Rc Cars. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one.